Are you clear? Yeah. So yesterday we saw creating the instance in the same class. Yesterday we saw creating instance in the same class. So today, let us see creating the instance in another class. Let us see creating the instance in another class. In another class, let us see creating the instance. So I repeat again, yesterday we saw creating instance in the same class, and today let us see creating the instance in another class. Are you clear? Okay, today let us see the process. See guys, in this project, can I add a new class? In this project, can I add a new class? Open the Solution Explorer. What did I say? Open the Solution Explorer. Right click on the project. You'll find an option Add New Item. Add New Item. I already explained you. Click on that. It opens you a new project, new Add New Item window. Choose class. Give a name to the class in the bottom. Give a name to the class in the bottom. Any name, your choice. I wanted to give the name as test program. I wanted to give the name as test program, and be careful, no spaces anywhere. Okay, test program.cs. Click add. Added the new class. See? The new class is added. Guys, these import statements are required or not required? Not required, because already we discussed it. We are working on .NET 6, .NET 6 or C# 10, and this doesn't require all these import statements, so I can delete them. No issues. Okay. And by default, yesterday we written a class here, a class program. Today it was writing a class called in class test program, but here prefixing the keyword called internal. What is internal? Internal means it is a scope, guys. It is a scope. What is that? Generally, when you say public, public means can be accessed from anywhere. Internal means it can be accessed only within the project. Internal means it will be working only within the project. You can consume it only within the class project. By default, even though you don't write this also, this is internal only. Even though you don't write this also, this is internal only. I will talk about this more in the later classes, ignore it. So right now, this class, even though I don't write, that is also internal only. And this class also internal, both are internal. Default is internal itself. Default itself is internal. Okay. Now here, I'm writing a main method. And all of you look at this. I wanted to create the instance of this class. Now, which class? Program class in test program. I can do that, guys. See? Program P is equals to new program. See, able to create the instance here. Start calling the methods. Test1. This test1 now also will print a multiplication table of 5 only. This test1 now also will print the multiplication table of 5 only. But see the test2 method. The test2 method, now I want to print the multiplication table of 9 up to 12. Yesterday we printed multiplication table of 8 up to 15, but today you are printing the multiplication table of 9 up to 12. Are you clear? That is what a dynamic in the sense. Whenever you call, you can call it with a new value. Whenever you call, you can call it with a new value. Okay. So next, what next? The next thing is see p dot. I'm going to call the third method test3. Test3 is a value returning method. What did you do in the last class? You done string s1 is equals to test3, and afterwards you did write console.writeLine s1. This is what you have written, right? This is what you have written. Actually, what are you assigning to s1? P dot test3. What are you assigning to s1? P dot test3. So without again declaring the test1, guys, you can directly write P dot test3 here and remove this code. Did you understand? Same like that, console.writeLine P dot test4. P dot test4. I'm calling the test4 method. I'm calling the test4 method, and for test4, I'm passing. Yesterday I passed the hello India. Today I'm passing hello America. And to execute this code, I said you what? Open the project property window. And here you need to add, what is that? Startup object. What's it? Oops project dot test program. Run the code. You see now, multiplication table of 5, multiplication table of 9. This is always hello world only, but now we got America. Understood all of you? Okay, now, so like that, we are just able to access the various things here. Hello, hello world, hello America, like that, whatever it is. So this is basically going to be dynamic in nature. Okay, now? So this is basically dynamic in nature. So this is what we call as dynamic in nature. So these two methods, what methods? Test2, test4 methods are dynamic in nature actually. I hope you guys are clear. So did you notice it? Where did I create the instance now? I created the instance in the main method. Where did I create the instance now? Main method. The instance is right now created in main method. But I can create the instance and main is static. Main is static. And I can create this instance outside of the static block also. It's not like mandatory required to create this instance in static block only. I can create this instance in a non-static block also. I can create this instance in a non-static block also. Not mandatory to create the instance inside a static block. You can create this instance outside of the static block also. That's your choice. It can be either in a static block or it can be either in a non-static block also. Both are possible. Okay, so watch it, all of you. Watch it. Let me copy this code here. Let me copy this code here. I'm writing a method here, public void call methods. Now this is a static method or non-static. This is static block or non-static block. this is a static block or a non-static block. Non-static block. So guys, it's non-static block now. Here also I can write this code. Here also I can create the instance and I can just call the method. So I can write this code in this particular non-static block also. So I have a chance to write the code either in a static block or I have a chance to write the code either in a non-static block. That is going to be completely my choice. That is going to be completely my choice, like where I just wanted to create the instance. It's static or non-static. But guys, here this problem is, if you want this method to execute, you need to call it again. How? You need to first create the instance of test program. You need to create the instance of test program, and then you need to call the method call methods. Now it will come here, creates the instance of program, and executes the other methods to you. Did you guys understand? Entry point is main only, no changes to that. See, basically all of you just understand execution starts from main method. Execution starts from main method. Once the execution starts from main method, what happens? Once the execution is going to start from the main method, what is going to happen? See, first, when the execution starts to the main method, first it will create the instance of the current class. It will create the instance of the current class. The current class instance it will create. Okay. After creating the instance of the current class, the next thing what happens, the control, it will call methods. After creating the instance of the current class, it will call methods. It's going to call the call methods. What will the call methods do now? The call methods, when you call the call methods, control jumps to call methods. When you call the call methods, control jumps to call methods. Control will basically jump to call methods. And once the control jumps to call methods, instance of the program class is created and other methods are going to be called. First execution will start from here, creates the instance of the current class and calls call methods. And now the control jumps to call methods. And inside the call methods, instance of the program class is created and executes the code in the program class. Understood, all of you? Execution starts from where? Execution starts from main. Execution starts from main. Once the execution starts from the main, control jumps to, instance of the class is created. Instance of the class is created and the control jumps to call methods. Instance of the class is created and control jumps to call methods. And now in call methods, instance of program class is created, and then it will be calling you the methods of the program class. Then it will be calling you the methods of the program class. Okay. I will show you this practically. Watch it. I will show you this practically. What is that showing practically? In the sense, basically, here, one thing just can learn. There is a concept called as debugging. There is a concept called as debugging. So what is debugging? Guys, in debugging, you can understand the step-by-step execution of your code. In the debugging process, you can understand the step-by-step execution of your code. The step-by-step execution of your code, you can just walk in the debugging. Where it starts, where it ends, from where it jumps, all these things you can just understand or analyze in this debugging process. We just call this as debugging, and this is a very, very important feature that we have basically. Tomorrow, when you just wanted to fix any critical problems in your code, this debugging will help you a lot. Tomorrow, in a project, a client reported there is an error. In the project, the client reported there is an error coming. Okay, the project contains some thousands of lines of code. Thousands of lines of code. When the project contains thousands of lines of code, we cannot really know where exactly the error is coming. We don't really know where exactly the error is coming. If at all you want to know where exactly the error is coming, what you just require to do is debug. By debugging, you can just find out the exact location where the error is coming. By debugging, you can know the exact location where the error is coming. Where exactly the error is coming, you can just see by debugging actually. Okay, so how are we going to debug the code? How are we going to debug the code? Let's try to understand about the debugging process and how to debug the code in your project. Okay, watch it guys, how to debug the code. Actually, I wanted to perform my debugging. I want to perform my debugging now. From where I wanted to do the debugging, I want to do the debugging from the main method. I want to do the debugging from the main method. From here, I wanted to do the debugging. Okay, from here, I just wanted to do the debugging now. Okay, how to do the debugging now? See guys, if at all you just wanted to debug, first thing what you require to do is you require to place a breakpoint. You require to place a breakpoint. How to place a breakpoint? From where you want to start the debugging, there you require to place a breakpoint. I want to start the debugging from this line. I want to start the debugging from this particular line. So I should put a breakpoint here. How to place? Put your cursor on that line. Put your cursor on that line and hit F9. And hit F9 on your keyboard. And hit F9 on your keyboard. Okay. So just what you'll do, you just put F9 on your keyboard. When you hit F9 on the keyboard, it will place a breakpoint on that line. When you hit F9 on your keyboard, it will place a breakpoint on that line. A breakpoint will come for you on that line. Guys, watch it, guys. You have a breakpoint on that line. This is called as a breakpoint. So what is the use of the breakpoint? Actually, when you start the execution now, the execution stops on that line. The execution stops on that line. See, the execution stopped at the debugging. Now you can see the step-by-step execution of your code. Now you can see the step-by-step execution of your code by hitting F10. You can see the step-by-step execution of your code by hitting F10. You can hit F10 and you can watch the step-by-step execution of your code. Okay, by hitting F10, you can watch the step-by-step execution of your particular code. So let us do that. Okay, hit F10. When you hit F10, it will show you the next lines of code here. It will take you to the next lines of code. F10 will take you to the next lines of code. See, now it is calling call methods. Guys, till now you see the monitor here, there is no output. There is no output here. Why, sir? Because Array, it is showing you the line by line execution of the code now. Now, where is it? It is at call methods. After completing the execution of call methods, you'll see the output. Now, how to go to next line again? See again, F10. If you hit F10, it will again take you to next line. See now, call methods executed and I got all the output. Call methods executed and you got all the output. All the output is coming for you. So like this, you can hit F10, F10, F10 and go to next lines. Like this, you can click F10, F10, F10 and go to next lines. Are you guys clear? Okay, next. I'm showing you that only, and you're asking how we debug the code again. I'm showing you that only now. So what is the first thing? You're required to place a breakpoint by hitting F9. You're required to place a breakpoint by hitting F9. After you place a breakpoint by hitting F9, okay, start your debugging, and then you can go to next lines of education, the next lines of execution by hitting F10. F10 will take you to the next lines. F10 will take you to the next line. See now, the debugging stops at that line. The debugging is basically stopping on that particular line, F10. It stopped it. And how to go to next line? By hitting F10. You can go to the next line by hitting F10. By hitting F10, you can just go to the next lines of I'm sorry. By hitting an F10, you can go to the next line of execution, F10, F10. Like this, one by one line of execution will be happening to you. Okay, next. Okay, next. See, one more time, start the debugging. One more time, start the debugging. Just to start the debugging one more time. Start it. Yeah, just to start the debugging. Now, how to go to next line? How to go to next line? Is that you? F10 will take you to next line. F10 will take you to next line. Now, guys, I just wanted to see like what is happening inside the call methods. I wanted to see what is happening inside the call methods. Okay, I wanted to see what is happening inside the call methods. So if you wanted to see what is happening inside the call methods, then what you're required to do, you're required to hit F11. Then guys, you're required to hit F11. When you hit F11, it will take you into that call methods. Then it will take you into the call methods. Are you guys clear? F11 will take you into the call methods. Guys, understand? F10 means step over. F10 means step over. Step over. Go to next line. F11 means step into. It will take you into that method. It will take you into that method. So what you're required to press is F11. When you hit the F11, it will take you into the method, and watch it now. The control went into, now you see the control went into call methods, and now you can just see again the line by line execution of this by hitting F10. Now you can see the line by line execution of this code by hitting F10. Are you guys clear? Again, F10. Again, you can go to next line. You can go to the next line by hitting F10. I want to see what is happening inside test one. See guys, if I hit F10 again, it will execute the test one method and see the output of the test one method. You can see here. It executed the test one method and you can see the output of the test one method. Yeah, the output of the test one method is visible to you here. Okay. Now again, F10. Now guys, again, if I say F10, it will take you out of, it will execute the test2 method. It will execute the test2 method. But actually my requirement is, I wanted to see what is happening inside of the test2. I wanted to see what is happening inside of the test2. In the inside of the test2, something is happening. If at all you wanted to see what is happening inside of the test2, what you require to do, again, F11. You're required to hit F11. See, F11 will bring you into the test2. F11 will bring you into test2. It is bringing you into the test2, the method test2. Are you guys clear? It is bringing you into the method test2. And here it will show you the line by line execution of the code. Line by line execution of the code. See, the X value will come here 9. UB value will come here 12. Now I is equals to 1. I less than UB. I less than UB. Okay, just going to print you 9 ones are 9. See the output. 9 ones are 9. Again, F10 only, just F10 only. Again, I plus plus, I becomes 2. And checks the condition true. 9 twos are 18. Again, I becomes 3. I becomes 3. Again, checks the condition, prints you. 9 threes are 27. Are you clear? Now see, here I require to keep on hitting F10, 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 F10 like this here. F10, I plus plus. F10, I less than or equal to UB. F10 will print me the value. Means to print one result, how many times I'm hitting on F10? To print the results, how many times I'm clicking on F10? To print the results, how many times are you clicking on F10 now? One result, yeah. For one result, 3 times you are putting on F10. For one result, you're clicking 3 times on F10. Okay. How many executions taken place till now? 4. Still, how many are there? Yeah. Still 8 more are there. Still 8 more are there. Still 8 more are there here right now. Did you understand my point? Still, we have 8 more times. We just require to click on this particular F10 to go to next lines. Understood? Still 8 more times. You just require to click on this F10 to go to next lines. Okay. So that's what exactly we just require to remember. 8 more times F10, F10, F10 has to be clicked. Means 8 threes are 24. 8 more times means 8 threes are 24. 24 times if you click on that. Now, actually, I cannot wait until that. I cannot wait until that. What is that? Actually, I understood the execution of the code. I understood the execution of the code. So I cannot wait until that. I cannot wait until that. Okay, I can't wait until all the executions are completed. So if that is the case, what you require to press is F5 again. Sorry, Shift F11. What you require to press is Shift F11. Shift F11. Shift F11 is basically called as step out. Shift F11 is called as step out. We call this as step out. See, it will step out of the method. See, the method execution is completed. See, it will step out of the method. The method execution is completed. Are you clear? Okay. So just observe it. Observe it. You just back here. Again, how to go to next line? Again, how to go to next line? F10. Again, how to go to next line, guys? F10. F10 will take you to the next line again. F10 will take you to the next lines. It will keep on taking you to the next lines by hitting F10. It will keep on taking you to the next lines by hitting F10. Okay, see, I'm clicking F10. Next, I'm clicking F11. I'm clicking F11. Again, F10, F10, F10. Again, here I clicked on F11. When I click on F11, it is coming here. Again, to see the output F10 again, continuously F10. If I want to come out of this method, shift F11. If I want to come out of this method, shift F11. Shift F11 is called as a step out. Shift F11 is called as a step out. Okay. And again, to continue the program's execution, what should I do? F10, yes, F10 to continue the execution. To completely stop the debugging, to completely stop this particular debugging process, what you're going to do, if at all you want to completely stop the debugging process, you're required to hit on F5 again, to completely stop the debugging. Means it won't have the breakpoints. Debugging will be stopped. Right. So what are the shortcut keys? F5. What is F5? 1. Start debugging. Start and continue debugging. What is start and continue? Listen. Not start or continue debugging. What is the start or continue debugging? Watch. I have placed multiple breakpoints here. I placed one breakpoint here. I placed one breakpoint here. So how many breakpoints are there? There are 3 breakpoints. When I hit F5, it will start at the first breakpoint. When I hit F5, it will start at the first breakpoint. What is the first breakpoint? When I hit F5, it will stop at the first breakpoint. No, main method. Why is that? This is the first breakpoint. When I start, it will stop at the first breakpoint. Now, guys, here, what should I do? If I hit F10, then only it will go to here, right? To come to this breakpoint, I require to click on F10 to reach there, correct? But if I say F5 again, it will go to second breakpoint. If I say F5 again, it will go to third breakpoint. Did you understand? Watch again. It stopped at the first breakpoint. F10 goes to second breakpoint. F10 goes to third breakpoint. F10 comes out of that completely. No more breakpoint, so comes out of it. That is what we call start or continue debugging. Okay? F9 is toggle breakpoint. Toggle breakpoint means creating a breakpoint. Toggle breakpoint means creating a breakpoint. F10. Guys, what is F10? Step over will take you to the next lines. Step over will take you to the next lines. Okay, F11. What is F11? Step into. Shift F11. Step out. Okay. One more thing here. What you remember? Control plus F5. Array, first actually when I was talking about running a program, executing a program, I was just showing you control F5 only. First today when I talked about executing a program, what I said to you is control F5 only. Yes or not? What is the difference between F5 and control F5, you know? The actual difference between control F5 and F5 is F5, when I start with F5, it will stop at each and every breakpoint. It will stop at each and every breakpoint. Yes, it will stop at every breakpoint. But when I say control plus F5, when I say control F5, it will not stop at any breakpoint. Did you understand? F5 will stop at the breakpoint. F5 will stop at each and every breakpoint. F5 will stop at each and every breakpoint. Control F5 will not stop at any breakpoint. Array, F5 is like a normal bus here. Control F5 is a like a non-stop bus. F5 is like a normal bus. It will stop at each and every bus station. Control F5 is like a non-stop bus. It will not stop anywhere. Continue. That's all. Is it clear? Okay, so this is how you can debug your code. Guys, I'm not giving any notes for the debugging because the shortcut keys, whatever I said to you, all these things, shortcut keys, you will be finding up, you can find up in the debug menu here. If you go and see in the debug menu, you can find up all the shortcut keys, what I said to you. Say continue. Shift F5, stop debugging. What is stop debugging? Shift F5, stop debugging. Means it will stop the debugging, completely stop the debugging. I did not say you about this. F5, shift plus F5. What it will do? Stop debugging. So all these shortcut keys, what I was telling you, what is control plus F5? Start without debugging. Start without debugging. All these things you'll be finding up in the debug menu. Okay, if you still want, I am posting it in the chat window. You can copy them. I'm posting them in the chat window. Okay, so I just put them in the chat window for you. But you can find all these things. You can find all these things for you in the debug menu. See, start debugging. Start without debugging. Step over. Step into. Okay, see, like a toggle breakpoint. Toggle breakpoint means what I said, creating a breakpoint. Toggle breakpoint means creating a breakpoint. So like this, we can just the same way you can clear the breakpoints also, delete all breakpoints, create plus, sorry, control plus shift plus 9. Control plus shift plus 9. It will delete you all the breakpoints. Control plus shift plus 9 will delete you all the breakpoints to you. All breakpoints are going to be deleted for you now. See, deleted all. Are you sure? Yes, I am deleting all the breakpoints. Is it clear? I'm going to give you a task for all of you do this. I'm going to give you a task for all of you do this. What is the task? The task is look, all of you, in the end of your notes, somewhere around page number 150, I think, somewhere around page number 150, 153, somewhere around page number 153, we have logical programs. Guys, all of you observe, we have logical programs. I just printed you some logical programs to you. Okay, so various different programs are just available for you here. Just what you do is create a new project called logical programs, and start practicing each and everything. Start practicing each and every program. Are you clear what I said here? Create a project called as logical programs and start practicing each and every program. And now, while you're practicing, make the habit of debugging. Put breakpoints and start the debugging of the code. Just to put your breakpoints and start the debugging of your code. Just to place breakpoints all over and start debugging the complete code one by one. Are you clear? Huh? See, like not like one programmer to a debug, guys. Debug. Just put breakpoints for everything. If you start placing the breakpoints for everything, you will come to know where the mistakes are present. Where exactly are you making the mistakes? You'll just come to know. I've given you variety of programs to you. Nearly just said, I've given you nearly some 35 programs to you, like different things for you to practice. So all of you create a project called logical programs and start writing the code for everything. What you'll do is place breakpoints everywhere, place breakpoints in every program, and after placing the breakpoints in the program, start debugging the code and test the execution of the code line by line. And test the execution of the code line by line. Line by line, what did you write? Everything. Copy not working. Take a screenshot of it. I can't do anything. Take a screenshot. See in the debug menu, yeah, everything is in the debug menu. What's the debug menu? You'll find all the things in the debug menu. Okay, so just will you start doing it now? From today onwards, take one program as a target every day. From today onwards, take one program as a target every day. One program as a target every day. So every day, write one program. Every day, write one program, execute it, and just check out how the output is coming. Okay. So there are variety of programs that are available. There are variety of programs that just been implemented for you guys to practice. So all of you take this project and just start writing the code for every program. How many programs are there? All programs, just start writing them. So create a separate project for that. Okay, practice all the things. Practice every program here. How many are there? I given all the things, just do a practice. So you should be familiar. Tomorrow when you go to interviews, guys, these particular programs will help you a lot. When you're going for an interview, these programs will help you a lot. These all programs will help you a lot tomorrow when you just people are attending for interviews. Okay, so that's why I'm just telling you, practice them better, practice them well, so that you can just be confident in the interviews while you're answering the questions. The machine test, when you go for a machine test, they'll be important. Machine test. I won't send the notes. The notes is in the Google Classroom. You download from there. Any one of you, I won't send the notes. The notes is in Google Classroom from where you need to download. That's all. Contact the admin here. How many times should I tell you? I don't do Google Classroom. Contact the admin. He will give you. Every day I'm telling again and again the same question for everyone. I was telling now, contact the admin. Is your payment completed? Then what is your problem? Then why are you not asking the admin? You paid the fees now. You have the right to ask. Ask him. He will add you in the Google Classroom. Okay. So, okay, guys, this is all the programs. So just to do a practice of all these particular things, so that you will get an idea about programming, mainly about loop writings and all, loops and if conditions and all. And the second thing is about debugging the code, how to debug the code. That also you will get a great clarity. Okay. Practice debugging well. Every day, whatever I teach you, practice, guys. Every day, whatever I teach you, practice by debugging. Because tomorrow, if is there any working employees? Is there any working employees in the batch? If you are any working employees in this particular thing, they know the importance of debugging. Yes or not? Debugging is very, very crucial. If you don't know how to debug the code tomorrow, you cannot fix any error in the application. So you must do a continuous practice of debugging regularly. Every day code, debug. Every day code, I say you, debug. Just to make the habit of debugging the code each and every day, whatever I say. You're a game developer. Nice, good. Are you building your applications by using C#? Are you building your applications by using C#? Okay. For all the working employees, my request is, when you come across any openings in your office or in your colleagues or somewhere, just to please close them in the group so that it will be helpful for the other people. Okay. For all the working employees, what you please do is just whenever you come across any openings in your offices, please post them in the group so that it will be helpful for the other peoples in your office or your colleagues or your friends, anywhere. Whenever you come across the openings, just to post them in the group. Okay, share the knowledge. Yeah, one thing I saw in the batch is sharing of the knowledge. If someone is dropping any message, error, immediately other people are responding for it and resolving the problem. That's a very great sign. Congrats, all of you. That's a very great sign for all of you. The people, everyone just showing their coming forward to resolve the other people's problems. Okay, just coming, you people are coming forward to resolve the other people problems there. So just make that a habit. That's a very good sign. Okay, and regarding the opportunities also, as I said, you when you find good openings in your offices or somewhere, you just post in the group so that the other people in the group gets benefited by it. Okay, now, guys, are you people clear? Like how to create the instance of the class within the same class? Are you people clear? Creating the instance of the class in the same class? In the same class where I should create? In the same class where I should create? Not main method, static block. Again, you're making the mistakes. Static block, it should be created in static block. Any static block, no problem, any static block. And generally we do that in main. Generally we do that in main. Why we do that in main? Because main is the entry point of the program. Because main is the entry point of the program. And because main is the entry point of the program, we generally do instance creation in main. We generally do instance creation in main. Okay. And the other thing is main is also static block. It is a static block. Because it is going to be a static block, we just create the instance of this inside of the main method. Okay, now what next? Next thing is listen. The next thing is, yeah, you understood creating instance in another class. You understood creating instance in another class, all of you. What did I say? When you want to create the instance in another class, where should I create it? Any block. It should be. It can be created any block. Any block in the sense. Any block in the sense static or non-static. Also, the instance creation can be done. Static or non-static. Also, the instance creation can be done. I shown you both the two options now. Guys, I shown you both the two options. Okay, so what did I show? Creating the instance in the same and creating the instance in other. Both the two things have just been shown for you over there. Anywhere, wherever you want, you can just create the instances there. That's completely left out to your choice. That is completely left to your particular choice. Either be a same class or create it in, either in static or either in non-static also. No problem at all here. Anywhere the instance creation can be done. Any more doubts? Will you start the debugging process, all of you? Will you start the debugging process, all of you? So start the debugging, guys. Okay, just make the habit of debugging everything. Debug. That only you will understand about the logics of what I have implemented for you in your code. Okay, guys. Well, next. The next thing what I just wanted to tell is, how did we create the instance? To create the instance, we just used the new keyword and we created the instance of the program. We just used the new keyword and then we created the instance of the program. Okay, now? So one thing I just wanted to clarify you here. What is it is? Just a minute. Yeah. Read this, all of you. Consuming a class from other class. consuming a class from other classes. All of you, read that. Consuming a class from other class. It is possible to consume a class and its members from other classes in two different ways. It is possible to consume a class and its members from other classes in two different ways. Basically, you can consume a class and its members from other classes in two different ways. This is what it is telling. Yeah, what are the two different ways? The two different ways how you can just consuming a class and its members is, one is by creating an instance. All of you carefully listen. One is by creating an instance. Second option is inheritance. One is by creating a instance here. Second option is inheritance. There are two ways how you can consume the members of a class from other classes. Option number one, inheritance. Option number one is inheritance. Option number two, creating an instance. What did I teach you today? What did I teach you today? Inheritance and instance creation. Inheritance and instance creation. I've shown you like instance creation. Instance creation. By creating an instance, how to call the members of a class from other things, I just shown you. The other option what we just have is inheritance. The other option what we have is inheritance. And guys, remember, we are not going to learn about this inheritance today. We will be learning about this inheritance going forward. We will be learning about this particular inheritance going forward in the latter classes. In the latter classes, I will be demonstrating you about inheritance. Today, what I explained to you is only tell me, today what I explained is only instance creation. We will talk about inheritance also going forward in other classes. Okay, later, because there are a lot of things to explain you in encapsulation, abstraction. Once I finish all these particular discussions to you, I will teach you about inheritance and how to work with the inheritance. Okay, but to remember, two ways you can consume the members of the class from other classes. The first way you can consume is inheritance, and the second way we can consume is instance creation. Okay, guys, I shown you both the two options to you, how to use inheritance and how to use the instance creation, both of you, both the two things have just been demonstrated for all of you. Okay, fine, well and good. Next. The next thing what we are going to learn today is, inheritance is done about the instance creation. Just a minute about the instance creation. We learned already how to create an instance. We already learned how to create an instance. Okay, just a minute, all of you. Watch it. To create the instance, this is the code what I have written. Now answer this question. The code in the left side, the code in the right side, the code in the left-hand side, the code in the right-hand side. Which one is important for instance creation? Come on, answer me. The code in the left-hand side and the code in the right-hand side. Which one is important for instance creation? Left-hand side code or right-hand side code? Perfect. Yeah. The code in the right-hand side. The code in the right-hand side is important for instance creation. The code you write in the right-hand side is important for instance creation. If you want to create an instance, right-hand side code is important. The new keyword is important. Basically, see, then what is the use of the left-hand side code? The left-hand side code is to give a name to that instance. The left-hand side code is for giving a name to that instance. If at all you want to give a name to that instance, we just use the left-hand side code. Okay. Sorry, I'm Am I audible now? Am I audible now? Okay. So what is important? The new keyword. The new keyword is basically important for instance creation. The code what you write in the left hand side is only to give a name to that instance. The code what you write in the left hand side is only to give a name to that instance. If at all you want to give a name to the instance, we just require the left hand side code. Otherwise, whatever you write in the right hand side is only important. Whatever you write in the right hand side is only important in this case. Okay, not the left hand side code. Right hand side code is important. Okay. Now you see, even though you write like this, the instance gets created. Even though you write like this, the instance gets created. This code also will create an instance to you. This code also will create an instance for you. New test program, instance is created. Look at this, all of you. New test program, instance is created. This also will create an instance for you. Okay. So guys, when you create an instance, do you have a name to that instance now? Do you have a name to that instance? And now understand, all of you, when there is no name, how can I call methods? When there is no name, how can I call methods? Because with the TP is not there. So is it possible to call? Is it possible to call? Yes, it is. How? Like this. You can call like this. Are you clear, all of you? Understood? I can call it like this. Code execute, see? We basically call this as unnamed instances here. We basically call them as unnamed instances. These are actually called as unnamed instances. I repeat, these are actually called as unnamed instances. What is the scope of this unnamed instance? Basically, the scope of this unnamed instance is, if at all you just understand, the scope of this unnamed instance is only you can just understand. The scope of this particular unnamed instances is only means you can use them only for one time. You can use them only for one time. How many? You can use them only for one time. When you wanted to use them only for one time, then you can go for using the concept of the unnamed instances. I repeat, when you want to use anything only for one time, then you can make use of the unnamed instances. You can just make use of this particular unnamed instances in case if at all you wanted to use your code only for one time. Means the instance is accessible only for one time. For example, here you see test program dot call method. So one time only. But here, don't follow that process here. Don't follow this process. Here, if I say new program.test1, new program.test2, new program.test3, new program.test4, memory is allocated 4 times. Memory is allocated how many times? 4 times it will allocate the memory. Did you catch my point, all of you? When you want to use the instance only for one time in your code, when you wanted to use the instance only for one time in your code, in such scenarios only go for using unnamed instances. Otherwise, don't use unnamed instances anywhere. I repeat, if at all you wanted to use this code only for one time in the program, then only go for using unnamed instances. Otherwise, don't use unnamed instances anywhere in the code. So don't go for unnamed instances anywhere in the code. Are you guys clear? Okay. So guys, I'm winding up here. All of you practice well. All of you practice well. So tomorrow I will explain you something new for you all. Okay. So just to do the practice of each and everything in detail. Yes, guys, because we started object-oriented programming right now, I'm going a little bit slow. Once you're confident with all these things, we'll speed up the things. Okay. Bye all of you for today. We'll meet tomorrow.